Hey friends, it's Danny. Welcome back to Dine It Frugal, where we make quick, easy and budget-friendly recipes every week. On today's episode, we are making potatoes Anna, which is a 2-ingredient baked potato recipe that I've made a few times. I got this Good Housekeeping step-by-step recipe book a few weeks ago at the op shop. Cost me $3, but it's got some amazing and really budget-friendly recipes in there. So I found this recipe, hopefully you can see it, in the cookbook. And yeah, that's what I'm going to show you how to make today. I love old cookbooks. I love the majority of my cookbooks I get from the op shop anyway. I've got a great collection of cookbooks that have either been gifted to me or I've paid very little for them at the op shop. It's a great place to get cookbooks if that's if you're looking for them, especially if you're looking for really budget-friendly recipes. I find that a lot of them are in old cookbooks. Or a lot of the old cookbooks have budget-friendly recipes by default in them, I guess. That's what I'm trying to say. So let's get started. This is a really quick and easy recipe because it only has 2 ingredients, like I said. It's potatoes, butter, and seasoning. And that's about it. So let's get started. First thing we're going to do is melt some butter in the microwave. So I'm just going to melt this in the microwave. You can melt it in whatever fashion it works for you. Microwave is just the most convenient for me, so that's what I'm going to do. And then we're going to move on to slicing our potatoes. Next, we're going to slice our potatoes as thinly as we can. So you just want to try and get them as thin as you can. You can, if you want to, use a mandolin. I've done that before, but for this I'm just going to use a knife and get through them. So once I've cut them all up as thinly as I can, I'll bring you back and we can get to the assembly part. This is such an easy recipe and I'm going to serve them with stuffed peppers tonight. Okay, I have all of my potatoes sliced. Now I will mention that the best type of potato to use for this recipe is a baking potato. I have a mix of baking and all-rounder, should all be fine. And now I'm going to switch my chopping board out for my baking dish. And I'm also going to bring over my melted butter. And salt and pepper. The recipe will be on my website on dineitfrugal.com, so I'll put it up there if you want to try this yourself, and it'll have all the quantities there for you. So we've got our baking dish. This is just a pie dish that I'm using, and I'm going to just start to layer my potatoes, just slightly overlapping. And you just want to layer them as best you can. Okay, so now what we're going to do is just sprinkle over some of that melted butter. I am using salted butter. Then we're going to season with salt. A little bit of pepper. And we're just going to rinse and repeat up until we've used up all of our potatoes. Okay, so we're at our final layer. On top I use the rest of the butter, salt and pepper again, and that's really it. I've got about 4 layers here, stacked all on top, one on top of the other, and then really all we need to do after we've stacked those, put butter in the middle, is go ahead and put this in the oven. So I've got my oven at about 190 degrees, and we're just going to bake this. So I'm going to say my oven is going to take about an hour and a half. Your oven may take less than that, so I'd start checking between 45 minutes and an hour. My oven's from the 70s. Its seals aren't great, which is why I know it's going to take longer than it will in a more modern oven. Okay, I'm going to put this in the oven. If you do notice it start browning too much on top, just cover it with a piece of aluminium foil and let it keep cooking until the potatoes are tender. So you want to pierce the potatoes in the center with a knife and just make sure they're tender before you know that they're ready. So Our potatoes have been baking for an hour and a half and they look absolutely wonderful. I did do the pork test and they're cooked all the way through, but this is what they look like. Oh, there we go. This is what they look like. They smell absolutely delicious. So I'm gonna go and put these over on the bench and I'm gonna bring you back because we're about to serve these up. So this is what we have for dinner tonight. We have our stuffed peppers over here. I am going to do a video of those at some point. I've just been testing the recipe, so I'll keep you posted on when that one's going to be up. And then we have our potatoes Anna here. So thank you so much for watching until the end. It is actually the next day after we had dinner last night. I ended up with a really bad migraine, so I didn't end up filming anything after that. Dinner was super delicious. I then ended up, unfortunately, with migraine, so it is what it is. Thank you again so much for watching. I hope you like this video. I hope you make this recipe for yourself, and I hope to see you next week for a new episode of Dine It Frugal. Bye.